Alright,
Okay.
what is up, everybody? Caster4 here, and welcome to the next episode of the Old Heads podcast. Today I'm joined by the ever so delightful Mr. Adexy. How you doing, Adexy?
I'm doing good, for. How are you?
Oh, well, we're here. We got a good one going. So, just give me a
Yeah.
brief, something about yourself. What teams are you noted for? Notable teams, orgs, all that jazz.
So I've been in comp since maybe 2017, 18. The org isn't around anymore, but it was called No Mercy. Few. I was on some of the first teams of No Mercy with Crozen. God bless his soul. He was the org owner.
Those are
He
the old
unfortunately
days.
passed away. Oh yeah, that's like. Oh, I can't even remember who I played with. I can remember the teams. There was No Mercy Eclipse.
I think all that was honestly just like starting to go down as I was coming into the scene.
Yeah, that was more or less that was before the Xbox addition into crossplay as well, because that was huge for comp, meaning that like teams were, changing out PlayStation players and Xbox players, and it wasn't just this full PlayStation team anymore. So I guess I was notable for those No Mercy teams.
All right.
I
Where are
played
you
on
at now?
D-Rag.
You still playing?
I'm on SSB.
You're on SSB.
So, yes, so it's kind of like it's the order without Jeff, and without a certain other players. Kind of, I don't know. I'm in a spot right now where I'm not really sure.
I mean, that's still a
Like,
solid roster, though. Like,
oh, it definitely is. Yeah, it's a bunch of people who play together. I'm all friends with them. I'm more or less in between because I have the only team that I could say right now is like a top team that I don't have an offer. Like if I wanted to join, I could. Is 5-2. 5-2. I was on their team maybe 2 years ago before they got Jeff and all the good players that they have now, Mystics, Zemphi, all of them.
I think I remember the
I was
5-2
on there.
Adexy days.
Yeah, there was what was my team? Froggles, Stretch, Molly K, Mr. Snipe, Drew, Scoo. It was a good time, But yeah, now I'm at SSB, and I guess we're kind of trying to figure out a roster. We've been placing players out, placing players in. I was before I was with this. We were with the Order. I didn't really play much as I had a lot of I had a lot of real life responsibilities that I couldn't play all the time.
Of course,
Now,
life
most of
takes
the time I can
priority
play.
first.
Oh yeah, and it's a shock for me because I'm just newly 18. I'm just an adult now, graduated from high school, and I'm trying to balance work, school, and a social life. But
That's a hard balance to
Siege
keep.
has been. Oh yeah, for everyone, and even in like the fact that I play video games, that in itself is hard because you have to find time for it. You have to make time for it. But I've been enjoying Siege. It's always it's always fun, and regardless who I play with, I always enjoy the game.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you've been on a lot of amazing teams. You have quite the legacy already of who you are. As you were saying, you have a ton of offers out from these top tier teams. What kind of like legacy do you want to leave behind? What do you want to be known for? Like the guy who just took all the crowns and walked out at the end, or like what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I have a rep of being a team hopper, and in a sense, I've been on like 30 teams maybe, and it's not because. Go ahead.
Let's be honest. All the top tier teams, like the ones who don't have that solidified 5, like what 5.2 and CC are, they pass hands quite a lot.
Oh yeah, there's rarely been a time. I think maybe Durag, if you remember that team.
That was the old
Yes.
Jaegerist guys.
Yeah, that was Zarnok, Diatero, Aiden Tax, Shucks, all of them. That team, that was the only team I've ever been on, I think, that was the solidified 10. Like, it rarely changed. And if it did change, it was just because someone fell out of playing the game. But,
Yeah.
I don't know, I kind of want to be known as... I have a decent amount of wins now, I think I'd say... I have maybe like 25 league wins. And out of all those 25, I think maybe 7 MVPs, which, I mean, ratio, it's kind of... in my opinion, I like the ratio. You know, you don't need to get MVP every time.
Yeah.
And for me, I started out as a heavy frag. I started out not knowing what comp is in general. And now I could play flex, I could play frag, I could play support. So I kind of just want to be known as... I don't really talk too much trash, I think. And if I do, I try to keep it specifically about the game. But I kind of want to just be known as someone who, yeah, I guess took the crowns and left the game behind, because that's what, in my opinion, comp's about. It's obviously about making friendships.
I mean,
You're
of
in it
course.
to win. You don't want to play. Yeah, you don't want to play to just lose.
Yeah, at the end of the day, everyone's here chasing that trophy. I mean, it's competitive. We're not playing standard. This isn't quick. We're here to compete. So competition first, but the community that you make along the way is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
So, well, what got you like into Siege? You know, was it just a buddy going, "Hey, dude, check this game out," or was it like watching Pro League or?
I think it was. I started playing in Operation Health. I think Velvet Shell was just before Health. And I think I played the very end of Velvet Shell, because I can always remember the Velvet Shell loading screen. But I think I started in Velvet Shell. My friend was just like, "Hey, you should play this game," and I was like, "You know what? Why not? Let's do that." So I just played it, and I found it fun. You know, then again, that was back then where you didn't have Game Pass. You didn't have where you can just get games on demand. So,
you wanted to play it, you had to go down to GameStop, you know, pull out the old credit card, pick it up.
Yup, all that type of stuff. So, you know, I had to figure out if I truly enjoyed the game to that degree, which obviously now I do, but my friend got me into it, and I've been playing ever since. I think I took the biggest break that I took was probably in between Neon Dawn and Flores Crystal Guard? No. The one with the lock as the charm. I don't remember what the exact name of it is.
See, you're like further in on me to that, because I have no idea what any of the charms were from. Like, I've never been a ranked guy like that.
Well, that's all I was for this game came out. I've been playing for maybe 8-7 years, so maybe the first like 3 years of me playing, you know, it was just ranked.
What was that like breakout moment that made you go, "Man, I want to be competitive"? You know, did you hit like a LFG, or you know, what made you say comp is where I want to play?
I think I downloaded Discord. So I had Discord because I was in like Roblox, like Star Wars Clone Troopers kind of roleplay. I was like 13, 12. And I saw a guy in there, and he played Siege. And he had like, I think it was, do you remember who Dracos was, or is?
Yeah, I knew Dracos.
Yeah, Dracos had, I think he was one of Dracos' players or managers. He had like Bloodhounds, I think that's the team, in his bio. Like, join if you want to try out. So I went ahead and I tried out, and you know, they didn't think I was the greatest, but they like, this kid's good. He's got good aim.
Yeah, you
so
got
I
the
kind of
natural
played there.
talent to mold.
Yeah, and then from there, some drama happens between Crozin, Dracos, and another guy, and that led me into the No Mercy server to explain my part of it. I don't really remember what it was about, but I know that I had a part in it. And then from there, Crozin kind of recognized my
He's seen the glint of the diamond in the rough.
Yeah, he saw my skills, so he had his brother put me on a team called Mercy Eclipse. And then that led to No Mercy Unmasked.
I remember Unmasked.
That's the team that I made. Yeah, that's the team I made with Crozin. We were on that team for, God knows, a very long time. And then one day I got an offer. I believe it was Crozin. Yeah, we're playing Crucible.
Yeah, I'm playing Def right now because I have my headset plugged into my PC to talk to you.
Oh, I did too. I can't remember anything. But
let's do this.
Go. Yeah, but I gotta remember from a top team at the time, and it was like, oh, I think I remember it was uh, Aatrox. I got an offer from Aatrox.
I think I remember them
I
guys.
don't
That
know
was
if
the like Aatrox
yeah,
New
that
Jersey
was
guys.
yeah, that was Diatero again, Estero. Um, who else? It was a bunch of good players, if I'm being honest. I can't really exactly.
Back then, who were like the standout players? Like standout players or teams. Who was the dominant top dogs?
Well, from what I was understanding, Aatrox was. That's why when I received that invite from them, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like that's
We made it.
yeah, that's a big thing, and I didn't really understand the levels of players and stuff like that. So again, I thought that was amazing. So I think it was Diatero. I remember again Shucks. Shucks was known to be very good. Jedi Joey.
I remember Jedi.
Oh yeah, Jedi Joey. There's a bunch of just old players that everyone remembers their names, but those are like the guys at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I got that offer, and I think I joined them, and I stayed with Aatrox for 2 years, or like a year is a long time. And then that's when I started venturing out to the Xbox teams. I played on the team with Table Luke. I don't remember what the exact name was, but I played on that team. I played on 5-2. I played on Obey No Mercy, or Obey, the team that Obey is now. I played on that team. I played on a team called, it was like the first remnants of Obey. It was led by Clips.
I'm not sure who they were. I think I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, it was like Decant, RT Sold, then it went to Geno, then it started
FVR.
branching out to... ZR, was that the name?
I thought it was
Maybe that was
FVR,
the name.
like the original FVR, like
Oh.
Frack led it, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. I can't remember the exact team, but dude, I had fun on that team because I had a bunch of friends. And that's when my, I guess you could say, comp career really took off. And I mean, I've always been like I don't have an ego in that sense that I know my strengths and I know what I'm not good at. So I was a sought out player for a good amount of teams just because, my accolades,
yeah,
everyone heard of me. Everyone heard of me and they're like, well, this guy's played on this team. Never really saw me, never really got a chance to see what I could do, but they like heard of the name, I guess you could say, and they're like, you know what, we'll pick him up.
I mean, like, Adexy is a pretty
So-
household name to anybody who watches tournaments or even, like, are competitive at all. Like, heck, even, like, starting the Jinxie tournaments and stuff. Aren't you, getting pretty big in those as well?
Yeah, well, I was big in them for a good amount of time. Again, life took a priority. I went to New York. I live in Cali, so I went to New York, and I literally just... I loved not being on the game all the time, I guess, because that was a big part of my life.
Oh, yeah.
I was a little kid still.
It feels good
And
to
that was
unplug.
when... Oh, yeah.
So, like,
So,
the orgs that were around back then, like, who I know No Mercy was there. I don't know if OOG we were on the scene yet or not. I know HMC, I don't think they were. But there was a couple
Mercy,
old orgs that are since, long gone.
I'm trying to think. That's the tough part. I always remember the team, remember the players. The org names gets me though. 'Cause there's been orgs that are fine, and there's been orgs that are. So there was Aatrox, there was No Mercy, there was Double O, whatever they went by. They went by something else. I don't remember exactly what it was.
It's always been Double O
But-
or OOG.
Oog. That's
Yeah.
That's the one that I remember.
I didn't know how, we were that far on the scene yet or not. I don't. That's like
There
the
was
furthest grasp
people-
of my memory.
Canadian. I'm pretty sure you know Canadian.
Oh, yeah, I know
Canadian has
Canada.
had his own org. Who else? Tough. I can't really remember exactly. I would say about.
That's the thing. We're picking the old heads' brains. Like, y'all already got the dimension from the age. Now we're trying to pick the brain on top. Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's. I can't remember all the. I can remember players, teams, stuff like that.
But who were like? We went over some of the good players. Like, We had Jedi Joe and all them on there. Anyone else you can think of? Like, people who aren't around anymore is another good one. Like, who don't...
I know that Uwick isn't around much anymore, but Uwick, when Xbox first merged, everyone was like, Uwick is the GOAT. Who else? So Uwick was good for Xbox. I know that his name is Ballistics, I believe. Ballistics was a good PS player at the time. That's for sure. He was amazing, Ballistics. And his name was everywhere. What's his name? Icy? No, not Icy.
I'd say definitely not my man Icy.
No, not Icy. There's a guy that starts with an I that I can't think of right now.
Is it like Icity or something, or ICQC?
Oh, ITQC. Was an Xbox comp player, I think, but he's more like in the GT kind of.
Yeah.
He used to play with Jaegerist. His name is Icy. Aiden Tax, before Aiden Tax got big on the scene, he was good.
The Aiden Tax before there was Aiden Tax, yep.
Oh yeah, his name was... It was Aiden Tax, but he wasn't, like, big.
Yeah, he wasn't, like, the blown-up name that we have now, who is Aiden Tax.
Yeah, I could actually answer this question for you, but let me scroll. Let me deep dive into my DMs.
Ooh. Well, while you're
7
doing
years
that,
ago,
if you're a good multitasker, who was, like, some of the legendary Clash of the Titans from back then?
There's a team that rivaled Aatrox a lot. I don't necessarily remember. Let me see. Cosmic. If I check my DMs with Cosmic, actually, I could answer that question for you real quick.
He's a pretty decent old head. He's been around the block a couple times.
Oh yeah, Cosmic has been around for a long time.
I don't think he would like the way you'd stress that long time to it. He might get offended with his age.
No. Hey, Cosmic's an old head through and through. Oh, this is the team. Tribal. Tribal was an Xbox team. I don't know if you remember who that was. I know that Skoo was on that team. Zishro
I know.
Zishro was on that team. He was a big Xbox team.
I don't know Tribal, though.
That was the team that I know they were on, now that I see it. There was Shakovic, if you remember who Shaq was.
I know Shaq.
Asternal. Anomacy. Antified. ICT, that's who I was thinking. Remental. That was Durag's roster. Durag was always the roster to beat, though, for my side of the scene, like PS.
Yeah.
Always Durag. Durag always had top champs, face it winners. Cosmic always had the ties, and that comes from Brennan Diatero. He had a lot of ties.
Yeah.
There was another team, Composed. I don't remember exactly what org it was under, but Composed was a good roster. Do you remember who X Laser is? Fanta?
X Laser does sound really familiar, except it's the Fanta name. I said, you're hitting me with some names I haven't heard of or thought of in like 30 years.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Hit the deep dive.
get you. Yeah. Code Black, I think, was an org that was back then.
I remember the team Code Black.
Wait, maybe it was just a team. I
think they were, because they were ones that would like rival Jaegerist, well, like the Durag Jaegerist roster pretty hard.
Yeah. Let's see. There was a team called Polar. I know they weren't that good, but I was on it.
Hey man, everybody's gotta have that backup team to go play with a little bit.
Oh yeah, let's see what else.
So,
do you remember who? What's his name? Solomon. Volatile Gaming.
I don't remember that one. No, I mean,
You might have not. He Yes, but he had a lot of good players.
I came in
A
kind
league
of
that I
just
actually-
as Durag stopped being known as Durag and started being known as Jaegerist. Like, that's right around when I started into the scene.
Yeah, so I'm thinking way too back, but
No, I want that. Keep thinking that far, man.
let's see. We have right here. So there was a roster called Zelek. That was Enomicy's team. That was Risk as well.
Alright, yep. Still be on my timeline. I'm sitting here thinking, like, I hear the names and I'm trying to remember, like, did I ever talk to them?
Let's see. So there was Enomicy, Thornidity, Risk, Extaria.
See, that does sound familiar.
Yeah, those were the guys that were on that team. Oh god, I just got destroyed. What else?
I was working on the drip.
There's a team called Nocturnal.
I remember Nocturnal. I don't know why.
There was definitely a team called Nocturnal. I don't remember exactly who was on it. Just looking at past DMs.
You're going back through, like, the, hey, we got a match tonight against this team, you know? Is that the old DMs you're looking through?
Yeah, I'm like, because I was also a board member for Snow League. Snow League is the league that I remember, and that's my comp experience. Was always in snow.
That was
snow's my home.
Jaw, right? Yeah.
That was Jaw and Cosmic's league.
Yeah. That's an old one.
Let's see. Rag. Yeah, it's crazy because if I were to see them all together, I'd remember it. All these players though, they were like relatively. It was like the same group of, I guess you could put like 70 players, and I could probably name all the 70 players. But they were literally just rotating in a 17 thing. Those were the best teams.
Yep.
There's always been some straggler teams that've been around for fucking forever. Wait, can I curse on here?
I don't give a fuck, dude. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll make sure. They've been around for forever, but they weren't like Durag. Cosmic will always have the reputation that he has because he created teams that were near unstoppable.
That's what Cosmic's Blessing, I believe, right?
Yeah, Cosmic's Blessing. He had a name before it.
I know which one you're talking about. I just remember him as Cosmic Blessing. Well, you said you could name all 70 of them, correct?
I could probably name a good amount, if close to 70.
All right, start remembering them. Start digging in the brain files. Let's move on to the next little chatting point. Because we talked about your legacy earlier. Now, I mean, it's gonna be a legendary moment if you remember all 70. But what are some of your biggest highlights or accomplishments? You know.
So, I know you were a part of this league. The Hyper Series. Hyper Series wasn't old.
Actually, I wasn't part of Hyper Series.
You weren't?
No.
Oh no, I'm thinking there's another guy in the league called 4. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. I just never did any of their casting or anything. I couldn't get in. They kind of had a niche group that they.
Oh yeah, they only allowed certain people to cast.
Yeah, and that was just kind of because I was starting off the casting career for myself. I think I actually made that 4 Changes name though. I became more well known than him after that. That he had to change his.
Yeah, so sorry, but Hyper Series was the first league to kind of give me a more competitive Siege feeling, in the sense that there was casters. There's always been casters, but there was casters. There was team cards. There was team logos that were made specifically from the league. There was all-star teams.
There was jerseys. There was merch.
Everything. It was like mini pro league for consoles. And when we won that the very first season, for me that was huge. I won with Anomacy, some Trey's Blessing, Lob's Blessing.
So does that kind of outweigh I believe you are a Jinxie tourney winner, you know it?
I definitely am. I am and 6. I have some sub wins, so those, in my opinion, don't give me as much.
Nah, those don't count. I won't count them.
Yeah. So I'm probably at like 4, 5, 6, around there.
You're saying
But
your Hyper Series Season 1 win outweighs those?
I think it outweighs a few of them. The best moment I've ever had in Siege, though, probably top 3, was winning my very first roller Saturday. I won that with Aiden Max, Baddies, Vic Bands, Kaysen, before Kaysen became the crazy player that he is now. I went with Kaysen, me, Baddies, Aiden, and then that was my top moment. I've never felt such adrenaline playing the game. It was fantastic. My 2 and 3 would be winning the Jinxie drafts, and those are a little bit more recent. Those are in the last few months. But, I mean, the feeling of having Jinxie watch you and cast you, and be like, holy shit, you know, this guy's winning a Jinxie draft, it's a feeling that you really can't, like, replicate. Especially because of the viewer base that Jinxie has.
Oh yeah, you put on your like first kind of main stage there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like literally being put onto the MLB or the NFL main stage for a console.
Yeah.
It was wicked. Like, I was nerve-wracked to beyond compare. But I enjoy those moments because they got my name out there and made me half of who I am in the Beachcom. It's just, I like performing in front of a crowd more or less because you get to show
it means more.
People. Yeah, you get to show people what you're working on because yes, it's a video game. Yes, it isn't like hitting a grand slam or catching a touchdown to win the Super Bowl. But for me, it was close to that because I got to experience having thousands of people watch me win a tournament that, you know, was for the greatest. And it's like, you know, everyone talks about how good I am in the sense, like my friends, my in real life friends, they were talking about how I'm like close to Jinxie. They like, when they introduce me to people as a joke sometimes. Like people from our school, obviously.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can't lie to you.
Yeah, no.
I've actually done that to my buddy.
Me. Yeah, no, they'd be like, yeah, this guy played with Jinxie. They do that. Even to this day, they still do it. And it's hilarious. But it's like, it's a very cool feeling. And it'll always be very cool. Especially because when I won my roller Saturday, I was like, I got thrown in there. It wasn't like a planned thing. So, in my opinion, that's my best moment.
I was gonna say, like back to the like your friends introduce you. I've actually like had that moment before. Like my buddy was like, "Oh hey, did you hear this guy? You know, he's all over TikTok right now. He brings up Jinxie, and he's showing me on his phone. I'm like, oh yeah, okay." And like the clip he's showing me was of, I think you might have been in the clip. Like your name was shown. I'm like, oh hey, I know that guy. And then I'm like, wait till he pulls the scoreboard. He pulls the scoreboard. It's like, I know all of these guys. Like. We're not to the famous point yet, but man, we're in videos. Like, so trying to explain to my buddies, like, yeah, I know all of them. These guys are my homies. It was pretty cool. So I know what you're saying. It's an interesting moment.
It's like, it's not being famous, but it's like
as close as like most of us are gonna be.
yeah. That's as close as I've ever been in my life.
Exactly.
It was a big moment for me.
So, what's like one of the biggest things that you've learned, like, being in this scene, you know, of just life experiences, or maybe who to trust, who to know, just overall, what's, like, been a build-up from yourself?
I would definitely say that the biggest lesson I've learned is to, one, not trust nobody, but it's tough to say because there is people you shouldn't trust.
I mean, you don't gotta name drop them. I'm not fiending for drama, but I get it.
No, I won't do that. But I would say that try to build a friendship with the people that you decide to play this game with.
because there's people that I'm friends with on this game from years ago that I am actually in real life friends with now, not knowing them before because of the game. And that could go for any game. That could go for Fortnite. That could go for League of Legends. That could go for any game. But I will say that Siege is so team oriented into the fact that you can almost never win if you rely on just yourself. Unless you are the greatest player of all time. Unless you're stomping. Unless you're
Adexy,
Shaiko.
you know.
Unless you,
I mean,
yeah,
he's the man.
kinda. I'll give myself props.
I'll pat you on the back. Accept it.
Okay, I guess I'll accept it. But unless you truly have, like, I don't know how to explain it. Unless you're the greatest at this game of all time, always rely on your friends in this game. And I would say number 2, be open to learning. You know, when I first started, I was inexperienced. I did not understand a slight of the game in a competitive degree at all. I truly knew run, gun, shoot, get kills. Like, it was a very, very simple thing. And I thought there was no other way to play this game. When I got into comp, I learned about strats. I learned about all that type of stuff. And I learned that if you surround yourself with people who want to help you get better, and if you yourself try to get better and work with the people that you're playing with, the sky's the limit. Seriously, it's crazy how much you can seriously do.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting take. I mean, because it seems like you developed a lot with this scene, you know.
Yeah, I would say that the person I was, game-wise and personality-wise, before I got into the scene is way different. Not that to say I would dislike myself for that reason.
But
I
you're
would
happy
say
with
that
who it molded you
do,
into.
Yeah, I definitely do enjoy the person that I am now, and the experiences that I've learned.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What all has changed really in the scene since you came in? I know you came in back in like the olden days of No Mercy and all them. What's been like some of the biggest changes around?
I will definitely say that the game used to be a lot more, again, team oriented. I feel like the play now for even all big creators, like, you make the play, you do this, you don't need your team.
It's more of a hero play mentality.
Everyone sees Stompin doing it, like, why can't I be the White Knight and do it? And I would say that it's a lot easier to get into it now, I feel like back then it was a lot more strict. Like, I would rarely get team offers, even being as good as I was back then. Like, in that day, like, that I was one of the top guys.
Would you say that your game skill is better now than it was back then, or better then? I mean, we can break it down too. You can say you're a better mental now than you were then, but not as good gun, or better gun, different mental.
I think my mental is a lot better. I was a little kid. I would scream my head off. I'd not understand why I was losing. I'd not understand why we couldn't just make it. Why we couldn't just win. Why couldn't we just not die, not lose a 1, stuff like that. And nowadays, like, I would say that my gun skill has decreased a tad. And I'm not old, but I do compare it with age. I feel like I've gotten older. My reaction time has slowed. I'm not a 14-year-old kid with all the time on his hands now.
You don't have the time to come home at 3 o'clock after school and play a video game till 12:30 at night.
And
you're a grown man now.
Like, I don't have the time to mechanically be good on the controller every day. But my game sense has improved a ton. I know a ton of things that I would never have known unless I inducted all the time into the game like I did.
Was there anybody that helped out with that development? Like, do you have like a good mentor? Like, was there any instructor, or were you just kind of like a I'm here to learn on my own?
I did learn on my own bit of my Siege career. I kind of watched people play, and I tried to build off certain people's play styles. I tried to play like people to see if that would help. Most of the time it didn't. There's always a point in time where a person's play style can either benefit a whole entire crowd of people or only be good for that person.
Say,
Like,
who
for
were some of
example,
the names you tried to mimic? Yeah.
I definitely tried to be more like Shucks. If I would say that one person has mentored me to a certain degree or a certain aspect, it's Shucks. Through and through, Shucks has always been a good friend. He's always been older than me, but he's always been kind to me, always showed me that, like, he's my friend. Never told me I was, shit at the game or anything of the sort. Like, he always made me feel like I was doing better than I actually was. And he taught me a lot of aspects of the game that I would say that for the time that I had, that I was able to play every day, I was playing like him. And that's no doubt. Like, I was playing like him every single game. Shucks was a very kind of baity, kind of sit in the back entry frag type of player. And he still is. He doesn't play as much anymore, but he still is. But that's who I tried my best to mimic. Another player, Zarnok. I don't know if you know who that is.
I've heard of Zarnok before. That's
He was.
I believe Noah.
Gala?
I know Noah. He moved to COD since then.
Zarnok. Maybe we're thinking of a different.
There might be
guy.
two different Zarnoks.
Yeah, his name is not Noah, right? Yeah, it's not Noah, but he was the first support player that I saw that kind of wowed me, because support players are always knocked for not having great kills, planting a bomb and dying, having the lowest amount of kills and the highest amount of deaths, and I always knocked being a support. I never wanted to be a mainly because there was no glory in being a support, You didn't get
Exactly.
to
No
go
one
in
wants to
and
be
shoot.
dirty.
No one wants to be the town bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That do the things that no one else wants to do. Which to this day, I mean, I still don't enjoy it as much as I do on the frag roll. However, midway through my Siege career, I would say, or like kind of at the end of my consistent playing everyday Siege career, I made myself into support, and I played with names like Iowa. I played with Richie. I had an opportunity of playing with Jinxie once. I played with Mingo, Franklin, Stompin. Name a name, I've definitely played with them.
That takes away my next question, which was going to be who's the most famous person you played with?
Yeah, I think it would be Stompin. Besides Jinxie, because Jinxie is the most famous person in the Siege comp.
Oh, easily
But
right now.
Yeah, I won a Jinxie draft with Stompin, Wizard, Phantom, and V Drills. This was about two or 3 months ago, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's surreal to know that I know all these people, and like some of these people have fans. Some of these people have millions of people. I would say Jinxie has millions of people who know him. Stompin has millions of people. Richie, millions of people. So it's like surreal to say, like, I've played a video game with this guy. Like, I've had all of them except Jinxie and Stompin on social. Like, these guys they were my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play much anymore, so they're not as much friends as they were. But it's a feeling that's, like, again, like, surreal. Like, and then again, I look at it and I don't take it for granted, but I don't, how do I say it? I don't think of it as, like, crazy.
It's not like you pulled out your phone and, called up Leonardo DiCaprio, but it's still pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, the most famous person I've ever played with is Max Clark. He is a prospect for the Detroit Tigers in the MLB. He's their #1 draft prospect. Yeah, he's the most famous person I've played, besides Jinxie.
Yeah. So, back to kind of the comp scene though. What are some things that you've noticed that have changed, gotten better, and what's gotten worse throughout the years? Is it? Hold on, I think my mic's disconnecting. Yeah, what are some things that you've noticed that have changed?
I would definitely say that the attitude of players has changed a lot. Not just the white hero or like the white knight mentality, but more or less like they. There isn't many teams that are very strat oriented. Like I know CP to a degree is, and 5-2. 5-2's always been strat heavy, but I feel like a lot of guns again running gun heavy, and I feel like the personalities of the entire community have changed completely. It's
There's
not
a lot
the
more
same
egos.
5 guys. Oh yeah. I mean, you could probably name like 10, 15 dudes right now that all think they're the best. And they are top of the top players, so it isn't a far-fetched idea.
But do you think
yeah,
today's
I would
comp
just-
scene could, like, I don't want to say take one of the best teams from back then and play them against the best team right now? Which side do you think is coming out on top?
Well, I think the older generation of players are a fuck ton smarter. Like, and I mean like a landslide. A lot of players
easily.
base their, like they're stupid. A lot of players play stupid. I mean, for example, Iowa, Raid Bullies, Glybo, they're all the top controller players in the world. But my golly, they do some fucking dumbass shit because they believe, and they know, they're confident. I'm one of the best in the world. I'm gonna swing this random, this shit guy, and I'm going to kill him. So it's more or less like, and back then, there was very many people who had crazy, like, one-of-one gun skill, and now I feel like I could go into a Discord, maybe even Rival Rollers, like, Discord, and find people with crazy gun skill. I think the skill gap isn't as hard to achieve anymore, mechanically.
I see that a lot. That's actually one of the things that we've been talking about. Like me and just a bunch of the other old head guys that, you know, all hanging around still. There's no more like, hey guys, I'm gonna send you the Google Doc link for our strat sheet. Like, you know, here's how we run. Now it's just kind of, yeah, we're gonna load in, play rank today. Like that's all it really the scene's starting to look like.
Yeah, it's really just hey, you know, if you kill him type of mentality.
It's swing or
I
be
mean,
swung.
I don't hate it, but I also don't think it's productive in the fact that it's teaching players to be selfish. And in Pro League, that's the opposite of what players are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see that entirely. Like, that's a really good point of everybody wants their glory moment now. Like, nobody wants to get the win on to finish their grand finals where, yeah, we went trade for trade. Everybody wants to ace the final round for their finish.
Exactly. They want the clips, they want the TikTok edits, they want the YouTube videos, they want the fame.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, what is your like current relationship to Siege? Do you still love it? Do you just not play it as much, or do you just absolutely hate the game?
I still love it to a degree, to a definite.
To a degree.
It isn't like, yeah, it isn't like, I could come home every single day and play until I went to sleep. Like it was that much. I think now it's more of I gotta build a tolerance to it because there's some things that upset me. I'm like, I've been playing this game for way too fucking long. I gotta take a break. I'm getting pissed off. But I would say that I still want to be great. I still want to play with those top players, and I'm near the cusp of it. I don't play with the good people that I used to. Like I said, well, I don't have the time for it. But like as I was saying, like it's more or less I am well, like I said, I just gotta find the time to play and the drive to want to commit to a day of Siege or whatever it is.
It takes a lot just to try and load up the game some days.
Yeah, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, dude, I just want to sit here with my friends and fuck around. But then there's some days where I'm like, I want to get into a competitive game. I want to go to a 7-7 game right now.
Dude, that's when I used to play, and then when I like started casting, there's days like you come home and it's like, man, we got a BO3 tonight. That's awesome. And there's other days like, well, You know, I could tell him I had to work late and just send the group text out of, I'll see y'all later tonight.
Yeah, I mean that's how I kind of looked at it.
Yeah, no, that's totally normal. So, how do you feel about all the communities around right now? Like, I'm trying to think of the right way to word it, but what I consider like our comp community is like the Scissors, Champions, Wild Boys, like all that group.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like what all is going on, the current state of how teams are, how the game's being played, how leagues are looking?
I feel like for the last few months, if to a year, the comp scene when it comes to like leagues, it has felt a little dead. It isn't. Does a wonderful job. Shout out to Scissor. His leagues are always wonderful.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
love playing in them. I love the Hall of Fame. I love All-Star teams. Again, it's just a league that reminds me of Pro League, drives me to play. Other than that, I don't really sit in Wild Boys too much. However, I do like the way their league runs. I also do like the community of Scissor. I find it fun. I find everyone's always jibber-jabbing everywhere.
I was saying,
Talk about who's the next best team.
There hasn't been a day, I don't think, in like 6 months that there hasn't been at least 30 messages.
Probably more, knowing how much it's a
Yeah.
consistent, like, always chatting there, always. There's never a day where that league is bustling with activity, which, good for them.
So, what do you think the community does need though? To, like, because you were saying it feels like leagues are kind of dying or leagues are kind of dead. What would you think bring that change around? Do you think it's like we need more production, more care, just more teams that are good? Like,
I feel like it's definitely a combination of teams being good and caring and production. Because, I mean, for example, Bogos. Bogos has Jinxie playing it. He's had celebrities play it. He's had Spoit, like pros, play it. They have someone that is famous or at least has a platform to vouch for them. And Scissors has some of those players in there. Like, for example, Sicko, DeJevin, Gino, all the known or somewhat players from Bogo.
yeah.
They have those players there, but they don't really vouch for league.
No, a lot of them
everyone
actually
thinks
walked
league-
away from leagues, especially recently.
Yeah. I don't feel this way about leagues, but a lot of people feel like leagues are a drag. And that's why a lot of comp players play them. They find it boring, they find it uncompetitive, and it's mainly due to the bigger side of the comp being shittier. Which, I mean, it does suck. I mean, you can't really tell a guy, get fucking better so we can have a better league. But that's, in short, how it has to be.
I say everybody. I mean, I like the D2 introductions. There's starting to be some lower tier leagues specifically to try and build these players up because everyone had their starting point. There's natural talent, but then you have to have somewhere to build it and create it.
Yeah, like, you can't expect them to grow good playing against top teams. Like, they're just gonna get pummeled and learn nothing.
The only thing they might learn is how to uninstall the game and just quit playing. Like,
yeah, like I can't fucking get that good. I'm not playing this. Like,
yeah.
I want there to be another generation of come-ups. Like, Mingo is a very, like...
Do you watch, like, some of the streams and stuff from around the leagues, or no?
I've tuned into yours. I've turned into Escargo Player. I've turned into his stream.
Do you, like, see any, like, the new up-and-coming teams and rosters and groups? Do you have any faith in some of the guys that are coming forth from there, or...?
Well, I definitely don't know by name most of these guys. Like,
Fair.
I've seen teams though, and a lot of teams, like, there is some guys that are just coming together and like they're gonna start being good. I promise you I couldn't tell you because
Oh no,
I don't mean this in a disrespectful tone to the streamer streaming it or the players, but I tend to not pay attention to the lowers just because again I get kind of bored playing. Like yesterday, me and SSD played a league game against someone called Bajas. One of their players is called OK Diddy.
Yeah.
But that we pummeled them. We were joking around. We were trying. Like, we were still running what we usually do, but not to the like, oh, we're playing against.
It wasn't like you were set up to take on 5.2. You were just set up kind of to play the game.
Yeah, we were just sitting there playing the game, and it sucks because they were trying their hardest, and we kind of just blew them out. That's kind of my take on like lower level teams that, trying their hardest or not, sometimes they just get blown out, and it's tough because they're just playing the game like we are.
I was gonna say, what would be like a note that you would give these lower level teams that get blown out? Like something. Oh, Paul's gonna die here. Something just kind of like a hey, don't lose faith, don't lose hope.
The lower level teams, I would say, hey, listen, I know it's hard to not instantly be good and have like the best players on your team and be surrounded by people who you think are as good as you. Sometimes people aren't surrounded by that type of thing. They're like, damn, I wish I had a better team or something like that. Believe in the team that you're with. Because I came up with a group of dudes, and they don't play anymore, so not gonna name drop. I can name drop one.
Name drop.
That was
yeah. That's what I say. I love to know that.
Astero, I came up with. Shucks wasn't as big as a name he was. I came up with Shucks. I came up with Gino. Gino wasn't as big as he was. I came up with trying to remember.
That was your generation though coming in. That all the guys who are really big now that was your gen.
Yeah, like those guys were meh at the time. Like they weren't the best of the best. Jinxie still had all this like Kobe Lax, all those guys.
The people who were starting to move into PL.
Yeah, like not Zez, Aiden. A lot of different guys. I mean, now it's like most of them are again pros and stuff. But yeah, to remember those are most of the names I can remember that I can.
So, what would you say is like the next generation now? Are you like, I want to say like not to be mean, but like ISO Way and all those guys. Are you like, would you consider them in your generation of players, or do you think they're the next up and coming group to?
I would definitely say the next up and coming group, like Moose, Paul, pretty cool. Popify, people like that. Like
they're going to be the next up and coming group to the Tornies, to the Adexy group.
Yeah, like Glybo. Glybo is been around forever, but he is coming up now. Like Glybo was around when I played ranked, when I was 16, 15, like 2-4 years ago in that range. Glybo played ranked. Played against Glybo a lot. Like,
and now he's finally taking the embrace into the competitive scene.
Yeah, now he's top of the top. I mean, I'll give him his flowers where they're due. He is really good, and I mean that goes to show, like, if you set your mind to something and you perform on the stage when it's given to you, some people never get that opportunity.
No, I did.
Yeah.
Like
how? Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry. My grandmother walked in.
You're all good. Hello, Adexy Grandma.
Did you say something?
No, I was actually gonna say, how do you overlook? Do you think the competitive scene is that we all have here? I mean, I know there's quote unquote the good and the bad around it, but do you think it deserves more credit for being where it's at, or are you thinking nah, it's good there?
Do you mean leagues, or do you mean
leagues? Or even the Jinxie Tourney guys? Where do you? Do you think that they need more eyes? Or?
I think they get a lot of eyes. I'll give them. They have pro players. Pro players recognize them. They've got the eyes where the eyes need to be. So I think the eyes definitely need to be center focused on, again, leagues. Leagues are fun. They're a good way to show a new type of player where the action's at. Like, where do you start? Because most of these guys did start in league. They didn't start.
Leagues are a good learning point. It teaches you a lot of the fundamentals of how to build a team, how to stay on a team, and who's good.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. Like it gives a whole new meaning to competitive team play, in my opinion.
Is there any
yeah, I would just say,
misconceptions though about like competitive, like console comp that you like think are just like outright wrong? Like one of the biggest ones going
Well,
for the longest time is it's just super toxic.
oh, that's not a misconception. I won't be one of those guys like, no, the community is wonderful. It is toxic, especially at the higher levels in console. Like, that's where my distrust in the statements that I was talking about earlier, like, don't trust anybody, but also do. I would say that when you get to the higher levels, be careful. Do not put your trust into someone just because they're famous or good at the game. They are used to being conniving, being lying to get into stacks. You know,
They got to the top somehow.
Yeah, lying is where they got to where they are for most of these guys. Like, and I could probably comment. I'm not going to.
I don't care if you want to. I'm cool with it. I love it.
Well, I mean, Iowa used to be my friend. I have done nothing wrong, and if you ask anyone about me, the most you'll hear from me is that I sold a tournament. Which, boo-hoo, I sold a tournament.
Yeah. Oh well, there's another one next week. Play it.
Yeah, like you were gonna get that tournament back. I didn't do anything that's like beyond human morals, but I would say that Iowa's done a lot of shit. He's account hopped in Jinxie tournament. He has, stream snipe. That's what I was known for, as being a sniper, which it's not horrible to do. It's not like an immoral human code that you
Yeah,
can
he
stream
didn't
snipe.
like kick a puppy or kill a baby, like shoot somebody's
Yeah.
kid, but it's still ooh.
Yeah, he's lied to get into the spots where he has. He's thrown people under the bus. Like, a lot of these higher players, they've lied and they've snipped friends. Friends that were friends before the tournament, or before they got big, to impress a larger crowd. They've taken accounts from people. They've, doxed people. A lot of the higher players, they are guilty of something in the sort.
Oh yeah,
I
I
would
can
say
name
that
a
the
couple
ones
times in
most
which I've seen like random, like, well, not random, but I think none of these guys are randoms that we're talking about here, but like people that are higher up in the community that are like someone's name and address. It's like, like, bro, that's not expected from you.
Oh no, and it's normal. It's completely normal. Now that Iowa's streaming, he's a good boy. You won't see him do anything of the sort. But before he was streaming, hell yeah.
Before we continue, this is gonna be published on YouTube. Do you want me to cut any of that, or?
I have no care in the world.
Adexy standing on business with that one. All right.
No, I don't care because Iowa has had its chances to. I don't need to be his friend. I'm not begging for a friendship at all. But I'm begging for someone who used to act like my friend to not shit talk me every single time they either play me, hear my name, and if he can't just do that, then I don't care what gets said about it.
Hear that someone would trash talk on you though, because like, again, when I came into comp, Adexy was one of the people like, he needs to be on my team. Like, oh, he if he's not on your team, you're gonna lose this finals. Like, that was the era in which I came in, is when you guys were just taking names and walking through leagues.
Yeah, and it's like, there is a misconception going around about me. It's been going around for 5 years, and it's stupid. So when you hear it, I promise you, I'm not telling you.
Is it
I'm
the
not
sixth
like.
toe, or
Is it what?
The sixth toe on your right foot?
No, it's not my.
You haven't heard that one
it's
yet?
Actually, the fact. No, I haven't heard that one yet. But I have heard that people believe that while I play the video game, I have a device in my lower lower nether region.
Oh.
And as I play, as I get killed, I bounce on it.
Okay, that's
That's a very. I swear to God.
I'm gonna need to like ask around the community
I'll
and hear about this one a little bit.
Yeah, you can ask like Jeff Sicko. He will know. It's more or less in
in like GC and stuff. But it was literally during ranked, I think about 3 to 5 years ago, in that range. I killed a guy who used to play on West in a, you could say, ratty way, and he called me a certain word, and he said that while I play, I do that, and then someone looked up, you know, that device strapped to a chair and put on a Snapchat filter at the top and said Adexy setup.
Oh my god.
And so no one even knows why it's said. Like someone like stop it. He knows he knows about that. He thinks that I do that. But
it was just something off of a random rank session that just became a thing.
It was nothing that was like it's not a single thing on the earth that is of me on that, because I don't do that. If anyone wants to do that, that's your prerogative. But
I'm just so unfocused right now. What the?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not something that you expected here.
The question was like lined up as like, is there any misconceptions about the scene? Not about a text.
Yeah. No, and I mean,
no,
I'm not
it's
gonna
awesome
sit
though.
here and lie.
I mean, I'm not saying it's awesome that it's a rumor. That
No,
it's just funny. Like,
no, but it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. That's why everyone says it. It's beyond hilarious, and I agree.
Yeah,
agree.
listen,
Like, that shit's
I'm not gonna
hilarious.
say it about you, Adexy. You're a good dude.
Hopefully not, because I hear it enough. But I won't lie. Like, I've said things before that aren't good to say. I've done things like, and I mean like not like I've killed someone, but I've said things that are just, again, not okay. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it. Like all of these streamers now, like Jinxie streamers do.
Yeah.
I've made mistakes. And I'm not looking for
We've all
anyone
said stuff
to,
in games. We've all said stuff in heat of the moment, anger, just you
yeah.
know.
Like,
Or it's just
and
how,
I'm not
like, some of us, the generation that we're raised in, where that was not okay to say, but it wasn't, like,
it wasn't
the
cancel
devil.
culture.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not saying it's okay, but two, I'm also not saying that I've never said it. And again, I'm not looking for not looking for anyone's approval. I'm not looking for anything of the sort. Again, sorry, I'm coughing a lot. Take some water.
You're good. What the heck is this thing?
Ah, there.
What, it changed out?
Yeah, I get. You just got a major upgrade.
You think? He was almost dead.
I've never played this.
No, this strike's new to me.
But yeah. So I'm not frowning them for saying it, because again, I have. But I'm saying that the atmosphere is toxic. So don't. If anyone ever tells you, oh no, it's great, like nothing ever.
I don't want to say that. Oh, I just killed myself with a rocket. It's not like I'm not gonna say. Oh, it's like outright. Oh, console's the most toxic thing in the world. Now, yes, there is some toxicity to it, but to me, it can also be somewhere to meet some really great people, like make some really good friends. But you do have to watch who you become friends with, and you do have to watch who you talk to. And you know, some of what we say, you know. It's a pretty even take to it.
Yeah, that's again for sure. You gotta watch out what you associate yourself with and decide to trust.
So, while we're on the subject of toxic, what is probably the most toxic thing you've done in a game, like to somebody, or even a match chat? Or I'm not talking like toxic, like I sent a goat's head to his house. I mean, if you did, let me know. That would be hilarious. But just petty, like very petty.
I mean, I'd say the worst thing that I've ever done. I died in a way that I didn't like. I died in a way that upset me. Because I can't remember of an exact one-on-one moment. But I know I've definitely, like, texted a guy profusely in the match chat over and over. Names, whatever you want to think of that I said, I probably said it.
Like after
But
every time you
I
killed him
don't
or he killed you, you just went off on him.
I'd shoot his body. I'd literally sit there and shoot his body till my mag ran out and died. I don't know. I've never really like.
You
or
weren't
if
a
I had
toxic
funny
guy. You were
picture of
chill.
No. But if I had a picture of someone and I knew them to the send it. Oh, I'd send it.
Oh yeah.
I'd send it. And I would absolutely milk the fact out of whatever was wrong with them in the picture. Oh yeah, then I would be toxic. But I don't really have pictures of people who I don't know.
Have you ever like just rage quit in the middle of playing, or even just outright ghosted a team? Like, man, F this team, they suck. I'm not even gonna respond anymore. Like, Not
Oh, yeah, I've done
leave
that.
the team,
I've
but
done
just ghost them, you know, till whatever needs
Oh, no.
fixed either fixes or just gone outright.
No, I've definitely done that. There's no lie there. I have definitely thought the team had potential. Team didn't change after a set amount of time. I either left or I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna start replying until they take me off the roster.
If you want to name drop,
Sometimes
go
it's
ahead.
just like, I'll say
This is all
I definitely
ancient
did
history
that.
now, so you know.
Yeah, I definitely did that with again, a team is called No Mercy Polar.
Yeah.
I've done that with I did that with Stretch at one point. When 5-2 was not the team that they were now.
Not my king Stretch.
Yeah, I love Stretch to death. I love Ashton, but
Oh, Stretch is a good dude.
Yeah,
I mean, get past
yeah,
some of the
he's never
femboy
really
stuff,
wrong.
he's pretty cool.
yeah, he's never wrong. It was just his way of playing certain people pissed me off,
Mhm.
and then we were just straight up back-to-back losing games. So I just stopped responding. Then he finally asked me like, "What's up?" And I'm just like, "Take me out. I don't want to do it."
Well,
And that led to that. But
it's funny that that you're bringing up 5-2 and Stretch because he was actually one of the people we've had like on the show before. So, which iteration
Yeah.
of 5.2 were you a part of? Was it
it would. I can actually tell you the dates.
I don't need the
couldn't
dates.
tell you
I'm
the
just like,
time.
what was the stack at the time?
Let me look at a TikTok. I know I have a TikTok of the stack I was a part. Give me 1 second.
Bros
'Cause
pulling
those are my
full on
memories.
receipts.
Yeah. I gotta scroll for this one.
And well, while you're scrolling that, who do you think is like someone that's really underrated that deserves a good shout out from you?
I have 2 people.
All right.
I have Abolish on CC.
Absolutely. He's just been great lately. I mean, CC's been having kind of a down on the
Fantastic.
luck stroke, but he's been playing out of his mind. And it just kind of, I don't want to say just happened, but something clicked and it changed the way he was playing. Like, not like, oh, I'm not, he's cheating out. I mean, his mentality about how he should play changed. He gained more confidence in himself, and he started showing that.
Sub-level doors opening now.
Okay. Hold on, give me 1 second real quick.
Alright.
TikTok. Oh, my phone is buggy, so sorry, controller disconnected. I'm going to have to look up on my computer for this, but I can
Alright.
log in.
Are you a good multitasker?
Yes, I am.
Alright, what is, because you had your Jinxie stuff, you are known in the scene. What's the weirdest DM you've ever gotten? I've got
I got
some
a
freaky
DM
ones.
asking. I've got a DM asking if the guy could change his entire alias. SK did. I have SK in tons of people's names. That's not even a DM. That's just people doing it. I've had a guy text me if I can meet up with him, show him my controller skill.
Okay.
That was probably the worst one I've ever gotten. And I don't know him. I've never spoken to the man in my life. And he saw me in a Jinxie tournament and asked. I politely declined.
I mean, I would ask him how much money he was willing to up for the for it.
Well, no, it was completely free. He was like, "You."
Nah, I would have charged him.
I don't know. At that point, I was like,
This dude is going to try and touch me.
"Yeah." Let's see. I'm getting closer now. Let me not play the music.
Yeah, you're all good. If you had to like, because I know you're sitting there looking through old rosters and stuff as you're scrolling. What is your dream team? I mean, I want an actual dream team, and then we can follow it up with the actual question I'm supposed to be asking here. But what is your dream? Like, these 5 would be my guys. I'm gonna go own every tournament, every league. We will never lose again.
End it.
My favorite
No actual pros
ever
though.
play with, if I had to put no actual pros, so not like actual.
if they've been paid to play the game by an org, like, I can't even say that because there's people that are in our community that are not paid by their orgs, but like, if they have a Wikipedia page about them being a professional, then no, count them off. But like our tourney guys that we rock with, yeah. Oh, it's this strike. Ew.
Submine vault's locked down tight, but the maintenance shafts are just big enough to fit you and all that armor. Happy crawling.
I never knew there was a submine housed in Europa. Neither did the Vanguard's archives. Which submine is this?
I had the same question. Turns out it's not really a submine, not in the traditional sense. It's more like a foundational AI framework they all use.
Hey, 4. Do you think we can continue this at this another time? I just had a family emergency.
Yeah, we can. If you want to wrap it up, we can wrap it up real quick.
Yeah, I'm down for like an episode 2 to get more or less to the things that I need to get to.
Yeah, we can hit an episode 2.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate the conversation. I love talking about whenever you're down again, or whenever I'm free, I'll text you. I gotta go though. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very
shout
much.
out the socials. Love our boy Adexy.
I have one, just Adexy on TikTok. That's it. That's all I want to share.
Alrighty, we'll pull you in for a round 2 later, Adexy.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for the abrupt ending. It's just
Nah, you're all good. Love you, man.
Yeah. Love you, man. Have a good day.
Yep. Bye.